Good afternoon. Here is the news from BGI TV Current National News. First is the headlines. Forensic audits of CBN underway. Tinubu tells World Bank chief. FG said to approve 6-month maternity leave. Oyo workers continue protest. Observe Jummah prayer at Secretariat gates. Nigerian man shot dead while testing bulletproof charm in Ondo. And on sports, England have good players but won't underrate Super Falcons assistant coach Iguoja. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. The news shortly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says a comprehensive forensic audit of the central bank is underway, while a thorough overhaul of the civil service payroll is imminent. According to a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, Tinubu disclosed this during an audience with the president of the World Bank, Mr. Ajay Banga, on Friday at the presidential villa, Abuja. A comprehensive forensic audit is ongoing at the central bank. We are going to do very serious structural review of the civil service payroll. I can't believe in the numbers I'm seeing, and I have had that experience before at the state level. The reforms are in tandem with Nigeria's Ease of Doing Business program. We will block all financial loopholes. The reforms will be targeted at the way we work, change of attitude, and equally on educating our people. It's costly, but we will do it, he said. Highlighting Nigeria's resilience and intellectual prowess, the president implored the Bretton Woods Institution to review the country as a significant player within the global community, not solely as a struggling economy. On poverty alleviation, the president called for more increased support from the World Bank, expressing optimism for a productive collaboration between Nigeria and the World Bank that will lead to mutual benefit and sustainable progress. He also discussed the ongoing effort to address issues such as subsidy removal, foreign exchange mismanagement, exchange rate, inflation, liquidity, and debt management. According to Ngali, Tinubu also shared insights into his administration's substantial reforms, including those aimed at consolidating improvement in Nigeria's oil industry, enhancing the ease of doing businesses, and prioritizing security to boost the country's revenue generation. The federal government may soon approve a 6-month maternity leave for nursing mothers to be able to provide optimal care for their children, particularly with regard to exclusively breastfeeding them children. It's noted that breastfeeding children exclusively for 6 months provides immense benefit, including protection from infections and diseases, development of the brain and cognitive capacity, and growth of children, among other benefits. The plan was endorsed in Mina yesterday by the wife of Niger State Governor Ajia Fatima Umar Bago, who also advocated 4-week paternity leave for men to enable them to support their wives after childbirth. In a speech during the recommendation of this year's World Breastfeeding Week in Abuja, the director and head of Micronutrient Deficiency Control, Federal Ministry of Health, Chief John Uruakpa, John said there was need to encourage both working class and full-time mothers to breastfeed their child. We also want to get the men involved to provide an enabling environment, he said at a ceremony whose theme is enabling breastfeeding, making a difference for working parents. It is, however, not a matter of just breastfeeding. You must exclusively breastfeed your child for 6 months for you to get the best out of the breast milk, he added. John noted that from the last National Demographic Health Survey of 2018, only 29% of women exclusively breastfeed their children. He added, we have up to 90% of Nigerian women breastfeeding. So if you minus 29%, you will see that you have almost 60% adding water. If we can synthesize the section adding water to stop adding water, then Nigeria will get up to 90%. Scores of workers and pensioners under the umbrella of Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, the Trade Union Congress, TUC, and Nigeria Union of Pensioners, NUP, observed the Jummah prayer at the entrance of the Oyo State Government Secretariat on Friday. Information recalls that workers and pensioners in the state have been protesting since Monday. Among the requests of the workers are payment of salary deductions, palliative for workers, upward review of pension allowances, payment of leave bonuses, payment of gratuities to retirees who have been stagnated since the year 2021, and release of promotion letters for the year 2021 and year 2023. I beg your pardon, 2022. They maintain that they will continue to protest until the state governor, Engineer Makinde, addresses them. Correspondent on ground report that Muslims among the workers and pensioners on Friday observed the Jummah prayer at the entrance of the state secretariat on Friday. The main entrance of the secretariat has been blocked since the protest began, a situation that has affected free flow of vehicular movement around the area. Workers were discouraged from going into the state secretariat to resume to the day's work and join the protest. Vice Chairman, Joint Negotiating Council, Public Service, Comrade Olanipe Kunoluwaseun, and the state said the Jummah service held at the main gate of the secretariat might not be necessary if the governor had shown up to address the workers. NLC Chairman in the state, Comrade Kayode Mathin, called on Makinde to address their demands. He noted if the demands were not addressed, the union would not call off the protest. He further stated that the union would call for a meeting of Congress to review the protest and decide on the next line of action. Serious tragedy has recently struck in Laosu Camp, Ondo Town, Ondo State. The tragedy struck after a son of a traditionalist identified as Tunde Akimuewa was shot dead by his friend Bode while testing the potency of a bulletproof charm placed on him. Meanwhile, police in the state said that the deceased was an ex-convict and the cult members were, while the suspected killer is also a cultist. Reports added that the friends were trying to fortify themselves ahead of the yearly Ogun festival in the town. Information gathered that his friend was asked to test the potency of the charm put on the victim by shooting him with a Dane gun. An eyewitness, it was unbelievable because such charms never failed before. But this very day, this particular one failed caused the death of the 27-year-old son of a traditionalist in the camp. It was around 6:45 p.m. at Laosu Camp in Ondo West local government area of the state when a friend of Tunde volunteered to test the charm on him after drinking some bullet-repellent concoction. A native doctor who reportedly prepared the charm had assured them that they could not die from gunshot. To test the potency of the charm, Tunde was said to have told his friend to shoot him. Immediately, Tunde's friend fired a Dane gun at him. He fell and died instantly. On sports, Super Falcons assistant coach Terry Egwoje admitted the team's round of 16 clash against European champions England will be tough. England are the bookies, a runaway favorite to win the game considering their pedigree and performance in Australia and New Zealand. Sarina Wexham side cruised through the group stage with 3 wins from 3 games. The Three Lioness also scored 8 goals and conceded only 1. Egwoje stated that they have to fashion out a strategy that will give them a victory. We don't underestimate those ladies. They are very, very good, Egwoje told ESPN. It will be a question of us identifying and exploring their weaknesses while also working to limit our weaknesses and taking advantages of our strengths. We know they have some dangerous players and we will account for them in our strategy. But they know we also have dangerous players too, so they will also have to be very careful to come at us. With the sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news from BGI TV Currents. Before we go, some headlines. Forensic audit of CBN underway, Tinubu tells World Bank chief. Exclusive breastfeeding, FG said to approve 6-month maternity leave. Or your workers continue protest, observe Jummah prayer at Secretariat gates. Nigerian man shot dead while testing bulletproof charm in Ondo. And finally on sport, England have good players but won't underrate Super Falcons. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advertisement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good afternoon.
Audio Jummah. Audio Jummah. Audio Jummah.